Hey everyone, so we're diving into XRP today, and I just had to kick things off with this juicy update from Senator Elizabeth Warren's office. The Dems are actually saying they want to team up with Republicans to fast-track some bipartisan crypto legislation. Can you believe that? And here's what's really interesting. Digital asset investors are buzzing because they think this is all happening for national security reasons. But let's be real here. There's definitely going to be some drama ahead. You know these politicians are going to squeeze every drop of TV time they can get from this whole thing. But here's the silver lining, guys. When it comes to that crucial market structure bill we've all been waiting for, the timeline is still exactly on track. So this thing is actually still happening by the end of 2025, right smack in the middle of alt season. Can you believe it? I mean, seriously, everything is just perfectly aligning for this alt season cycle. We're talking catalyst after catalyst just stacking up. And here's the thing. They are absolutely terrified of XRP, like genuinely scared. Now, Bitcoin is actually way faster than whatever your favorite altcoin is. And pay attention here because this is important. They're specifically pointing to the Lightning Network as proof. So here's the thing they just don't get. You can actually send Bitcoin through the XRP ledger for literally less than a penny. We're talking 3 to 5 seconds, tops. And this has been totally proven. Just wait until you see what the Interledger protocol can do. It's going to blow your mind. But here's what kills me. They keep pushing this narrative that Bitcoin is the ultimate future. Guys, it's really not. Bitcoin's heading toward being yesterday's news. Trust me. This insight comes from digital asset investor. And you know what? There's actually someone even more stubborn than Bitcoin maximalists. The Litecoin crowd. They're constantly trying to convince everyone that Litecoin's going to overtake XRP somehow. He's sitting there saying, debate over, but hey, let's look on the bright side here. At least we got you those views you were chasing after. So check this out. Litecoin's got decent speed at around 2.5 to 5 minutes, but XRP, we're talking 3 to 5 seconds. That's insane, right? Now for fees, Litecoin will cost you maybe a penny to 10 cents, which isn't bad. But XRP, we're talking fractions of a penny here, people. And scalability, Litecoin handles about 56 transactions per second, which is solid. But XRP crushes it with 1,500 transactions per second. Plus, we're going to see micropayments rolling out on the XRP ledger too. And just wait. Once that Interledger protocol kicks in, this is absolutely massive news, people. So the Central Bank of Ireland just dropped a bombshell. Bitcoin and Ethereum are basically getting a free pass from EU crypto regulations. Can you believe this? Here's what's wild. MiCA regulations? Yeah, they're not going to touch some of the biggest players in the game. Bitcoin, Ethereum, they're sitting pretty outside these rules. And why? Because there's literally no one specific person or company behind them to point fingers at. No identifiable issuer means no regulatory headache. So wait, think about this for a second. Since you literally can't point to who created these coins, they're getting a complete pass from MiCA. But here's where it gets really interesting. What do you think is about to happen to a bunch of other cryptocurrencies out there? I'm telling you guys, we're about to see a massive shakeout. A ton of cryptocurrencies are going to start vanishing left and right because guess what? The United States is rolling out regulations that look almost identical to MiCA. These systems can't be totally different from each other. And you know why? Because if they were, cross-border payments would be absolutely broken. So what's the deal with Bitcoin and Ethereum going forward? Brace yourselves. They're both becoming dinosaurs while we're watching this massive utility revolution unfold. XRP is absolutely crushing it with those game-changing interoperability features and that beautiful deflationary tokenomics magic. Even in this report, they actually cite something pretty interesting. This is coming straight from Wisdom Tree, and they're calling out XLM for having limited institutional adoption. Now look, that's definitely a weakness they're pointing out for XLM. I'll give them that. But here's the thing. Institutional adoption is actually starting to pick up steam on Stellar right now. And honestly, I'm definitely not going to dump my XLM just because Wisdom Tree is saying this stuff. Here's what I really think is going to happen. XLM is going to run right alongside XRP. When XRP finally breaks out and goes on that epic bull run we're all waiting for, it's going to drag XLM right up with it. That's just how these things work in crypto. Yo, so Wisdom Tree just dropped this bomb. They're saying XRP's about to face a supply crunch way before Bitcoin even thinks about it. Picture this. Bitcoin's cruising until 2014 to hit that 21 million cap. Meanwhile, XRP? Dude, we're literally talking next few years. But that gets me fired up. Bitcoin maximalists keep screaming scarcity, 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 like it's some revolutionary feature. Newsflash, people. Scarcity isn't a use case, it's basic economics. And plot twist, that whole scarcity narrative they worship, XRP's about to steal that thunder completely. And then, oh man, this is where it gets wild. You peek beyond XRP and check out QNT. Guys, there's literally less QNT floating around than Bitcoin right now. I'm not kidding. All these golden narratives they've been spinning about Bitcoin for years, they're crumbling like a house of cards, one by one. But yo, when we dive into XRP's supply and how it's distributed, shout out to Smoke for this intel. This data is absolutely mind-blowing and changes everything we thought we knew. Ripple and that escrow situation, they literally can't just dump everything. And honestly, as XRP holders, we've always known this. Look, here's what actually happens. Every month starts with 1 billion tokens getting released, right? But usually around 700 to 800 million of those get locked right back up. So we're talking about maybe 200 million XRP that actually stays out there. And where does it go? Well, it flows into those on-demand liquidity corridors or gets snatched up by institutional buyers. But guys, listen, Ripple absolutely cannot just wake up tomorrow morning and be like, hey, let's crash the market by dumping our entire escrow. It just doesn't work that way. Buckle up, because this is wild. So everything we just saw, yeah, that was all part of Ripple's master plan from day one. I'm not even kidding here. They basically played 4D chess while everyone else was playing checkers. Why would they do this? Simple. They wanted XRP's price to be bulletproof. You know what I mean? But wait, there's more. They flipped that whole escrow situation into their ultimate ace card, literally weaponizing it to supercharge XRP's usefulness. And now, brace yourselves, Brad Garlinghouse just dropped a bombshell saying XRP could actually become part of America's official treasure vault. Look, we've all been whispering about this possibility forever, but they just went nuclear and published a brand new deep dive piece on it. Look, I'm going to be real with you guys. I couldn't care less if the US government jumps on the XRP train or not. Seriously, why should I? We already know this thing's going worldwide, people. Just peek at what SBI's cooking up. Check out all these other countries making moves. They're not messing around. They're actually using XRP for what it was built for. The real utility, the actual purpose. Now sure, America could totally cash in on this golden opportunity if they wanted to. Okay, so picture this. They could literally grab something like XRP and supercharge the dollar. We're talking about shooting money across the globe faster than you can blink for basically pocket change, less than a penny. And trust me, the US is definitely already eyeing XRP. You know they are. But when Brad Garlinghouse spilled the tea on this whole thing, he was basically saying, guys, the playing field just got leveled. Finally, right? Look, Bitcoin isn't the only player in town anymore. We're watching other cryptos join those reserves too. Here's the crazy part. Ripple's XRP might actually team up with Swift and their massive network of 11,000 plus banks. But honestly, I'm not buying into any partnership happening here. Why? These banks are absolutely fed up with Swift already. And those countries getting slammed with sanctions left and right, yeah, they're done with Swift too. They're absolutely dying for something revolutionary, something game-changing, something that doesn't just talk the talk, but actually walks the walk. And SWIFT, it's literally just glorified text messages between banks, guys. So imagine this wild scenario. We're heading into this future where there's this incredible alternative that makes today's system look like ancient history. Boom. Game over. Those 11,000 Swift customers are going to ditch that old dinosaur for RippleNet faster than you can say crypto revolution. Trust me, Ripple's about to absolutely demolish SWIFT. It's literally just a matter of time before we see this shift happening. And I'm telling you, it's starting with ISO 222. Vietnam just shut down another 86 million bank accounts. I mean, did you guys even hear about this? It's absolutely crazy. And they're doing it because people aren't passing these biometric verification standards. Yeah, you heard that right. Digital ID requirements. So now they're literally closing people's bank accounts over there in Vietnam. And honestly, I thought this was going to be like a one-off thing, but nope. They're also pushing hard for that cashless society too. But you're seeing the exact same stuff going down in the UK. And there's actually a petition floating around right now called Do Not Introduce Digital ID Cards. Look at all those signatures piling up on this thing already. It's insane. So here's what I'm thinking. Digital ID is going to be a huge part of this whole new financial system they're rolling out. And they're going to sit there and tell you, oh, it's totally safe. We're just trying to help you and keep you protected. But let's be real here, guys. It's not about keeping you safe. It's all about them having control. That's what this is really about. They want to track every single transaction you make. Think about this for a second. If you went out today and bought something with a $100 bill, a 50 or even a 20, nobody's tracking that transaction, right? It's totally private. But once they push us all into this digital money system, boom. Everything you buy, everything you spend, every single penny, it's all going to be tracked and monitored. And here's the scary part, guys. This isn't just happening in one or two places. This is going to start rolling out in every single country around the world. Every single one. They're constantly playing this sneaky word game, trying to convince you that a stablecoin is somehow completely different from a central bank digital currency. But guys, I'm telling you right now, there's literally zero difference. It's like they're serving you the same meal on two different plates. Think about it. If the Fed rolls out a stablecoin tomorrow, suddenly everyone's screaming, central bank digital currency. But when Ripple drops their stablecoin, oh no, that's just a harmless little stablecoin. Give me a break. It's the exact same control system with different branding. All right, guys, we're literally talking about smart money here. Like every single transaction is being watched and recorded. But here's the crazy part that nobody's shouting about. Stablecoins are basically money laundering's worst nightmare. Think about it. Dirty money, not happening. Everything's out in the open, completely see-through. That's the real reason everyone's going absolutely bonkers for stablecoins right now. And oh man, the US government, they're practically drooling over this stuff. Why? Because they can basically attach their debt to these coins and boom, suddenly they're reaching places they never could before. Nobody's really jumping to buy US debt these days, right? They're scrambling to find fresh buyers from literally every corner of the planet. And guess what? This is exactly why the whole digital revolution is absolutely massive. We're talking about a worldwide phenomenon here, folks. Once this thing goes truly global, and trust me, it's happening fast, every single person on Earth is going to feel the impact. And when you're putting your money into crypto, this is exactly what you're betting on. Most people are completely clueless that we're literally living through the fourth industrial revolution right now. I mean, this is insane. It's a once-in-a-lifetime shot to absolutely crush it financially with something as massive as a brand new financial system. Look, if you get yourself positioned today, like seriously, right now, you won't have to stress about any of this down the road. I'm not kidding around here. They are definitely going to have alternatives. All right, guys, we're literally talking about smart money here. Like every single transaction is being watched and recorded. But here's the crazy part that nobody's shouting about. Stablecoins are basically money laundering's worst nightmare. Think about it. Dirty money, not happening. Everything's out in the open, completely see-through. That's the real reason everyone's going absolutely bonkers for stablecoins right now. And oh man, the US government, they're practically drooling over this stuff. Why? Because they can basically attach their debt to these coins and boom, suddenly they're reaching places they never could before. Nobody's really jumping to buy US debt these days, right? They're scrambling to find fresh buyers from literally every corner of the planet. And guess what? This is exactly why the whole digital revolution is absolutely massive. We're talking about a worldwide phenomenon here, folks. Once this thing goes truly global, and trust me, it's happening fast, every single person on Earth is going to feel the impact. And when you're putting your money into crypto, this is exactly what you're betting on. Most people are completely clueless that we're literally living through the fourth industrial revolution right now. I mean, this is insane. It's a once-in-a-lifetime shot to absolutely crush it financially with something as massive as a brand new financial system. Look, if you get yourself positioned today, like seriously, right now, you won't have to stress about any of this down the road. I'm not kidding around here. They are definitely going to have alternatives. We're still learning as this whole space evolves, but here's what I'm really excited about. The ultimate goal here, we're positioning ourselves to build serious wealth by getting into XRP, XLM, XDC, and similar projects because we saw this coming before everyone else did. Think about it. If you jumped in a time machine back to 2020, sure, people were already talking about this stuff. But honestly, most folks thought we were looking at 2040 or 2050 timelines. But nobody saw it accelerating like this. The timeline just completely shifted, and now everything's moving way faster than anyone predicted. I'm still betting that by 2028, we're going to witness the full emergence of this new financial system. And hey, until all of this plays out, just remember to stay patient and keep that positive energy flowing. All right, guys, that's a wrap on today's video. I seriously appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in and being part of this journey. Catch you in the next one and have an absolutely amazing night.